guys. Matt at Front Fab. Sounds like there's a tornado outside. The wind is blowing like crazy here. Anyway, so the video we're about to start on this one, that you're about to start watching is on the Tin Soldier car, Lance Wendell's car. Be a few different clips we put together. I've been trying to do a few as we go, just to kind of piece them together. It's obviously not a start to finish complete, as they would be extremely long, and it's hard to sort through it if you just do time lapses. So that's probably not even going to happen ever. Maybe on some smaller projects, but not on these big ones. It's just kind of impossible with how much we've got going on in here. But anyway, so we're going to piece all them together and kind of show you. We're at a stopping point on it at the moment, really, just until some parts show up. Kind of pretty much done everything we can do until just a few little items come. But we went to PRI this past week, and I'm also going to just put those on the end of this video because I'm terrible at pulling the camera out and trying to get any footage. So I got a little bit. I probably got maybe 5-6 minutes. I haven't even looked at it all yet, but I'm going to piece that together and put it at the end of this video. That way, if you're watching, if you're interested, hang around to the end. You can see a little bit of stuff from PRI. Nothing crazy, but like I said, there's a few little things. So check it out. Thanks, guys. All right, so Dylan's been rolling on the SN of Lance's. See the engine's in there. We've been working on the headers. Said I haven't been able to video as much of this as I would like to because I've been busy over there working on one myself, and he's been working on this, and Shane's been busy with a few other little things, and he's back to helping me on Wade's car, wrapping it up. But I'm going to show you what we got going on. So this turbo used to be mounted kind of catty corner over here on this car. We're going to center it up, so why not? But this bar was obviously straight across, and I needed to get the turbo in here more, so we had to be able to drop the turbo down enough to get it under this support, because we're not rebuilding all this on this, because if we cut all this out, we'll have to remount all the front end, and we're just getting into more and more stuff. So this onion's already getting peeled pretty heavily at this point, so we're trying to just do what we need to get done. So we went ahead and modified that, and then I thought I had a turbo mount here and I didn't, but so I ordered one, which just got here today. So as soon as he wraps up these headers, which are really close, then we'll get the turbo mounted, and then we'll go on the hot side. Still got a little bit to do sheet metal wise, but carbon wise in the car, but it needs to come off the jig, and we're just trying to keep stuff rolling and processing right now. It's raining today, so didn't want to have to get forklift in here and move everything around, but we're just trying to roll on this, and then once we get it back off of the jig, we can get in here. And it's just hard to get in the lift, and the height's kind of high, but we have actually sheet metaled. It's kind of hard to see from the stock floor down to the bar, but after that we got to cover so we got a little bit like where these inner bars here, we're going to sheet metal those, and we're going to carbon the top. He wants carbon as much as we can, but there's just some places doesn't make a lot of sense. So in those places we will form and cut and bead roll sheet metal that gets welded in. But yeah, we got working through our these are 2-inch primaries on this car. Dylan's over here welding one up now. Know what you're doing?
Yeah.
The back purging, keep all the oxidation out, or sugar. So this one's pretty well done. Besides, he's doing the EGTs, and then he's got to cut the collector down and weld the V-band on, and that one will be a wrap. And then just basically the same thing on the other side. So this header is pretty well done. All the tubes are welded, flanges welded. Inside the star's been welded already, and you can see the seam here. And then the collectors have been placed. So you basically kind of do it in steps. You kind of build a tube, build a tube, build a tube, work your way back. This is the way we do it. I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. This is the way I've always done it, and it works pretty well. So, I'll literally complete each tube as I go and finish welding it. Then bring it back over here and I'll tack it in place to where I want it to be. And then once I get all of them tacked in place and the collector's still in a good spot, I'll tack all of the tubes together, all 4 tubes here, and then we'll pull it off and actually go ahead and weld the flange, the star that's on the inside of this. I doubt you'll be able to see it. So basically what I mean by star is the center where all 4 of those together, the middle is shaped like a star. So we weld that in, and then we weld all the way around the star and weld that. That's how you seal it up. And then when this form collector slides over it, we'll weld all the way around it and tie it to that weld right there, and that's how you make it sealed. So like I said, he's kind of finishing that one now, but this is kind of the whole idea is you have this 100% welded and this 100% welded. This stuff moves as you weld. You're trying to minimize it as much as possible, and that's why we do 100% welding as we go. And then we put it back on place, in place, and we actually move our, you got a little play with these collectors, so you slide it around and we actually tack it in place, and then he'll pull it off and he'll go ahead and cut the collector down the size, weld the collector, weld the EGTs, all of that, and then she'll be pretty much right. There's a lot of on and off with these things, but can't really see much. Yeah, building headers is very tedious and time consuming, but especially in these stock suspension cars. There's plenty of room in here. We're just trying, so like this one, obviously we're trying to keep everything off of the steering shaft situation. And then on this one, the oil pump is over here, and that's why we got some marks just for dimensionally, just to check against to make sure everything cleared, and it's got plenty of space. But headers will be wrapped up soon, and then we'll get back to mounting the turbo, and we'll check back in after that. A little update on Lance's SN95. Should be a video before this, but my card's saying something happened to the file, so it may not be there. But so might have missed out on some of the work while we were doing the turbo kit. But if not, just if it is on there, disregard. I just know it's not working right at the moment. But anyway, so kind of go over that stuff again and show you just in case. But we got built headers from scratch. We use the sheer fab billet flanges. I think we got just a standard formed collector from Stainless Headers. It's a 2-inch primary to a 3-inch collector. Just V-banded, just normal stuff, nothing crazy over here. Well, got something in the way. I'll kind of talk about that in a minute. But just regular EGTs from Holley. We'll use those a good bit because we get those in the kits, but we also use the MAD EGT bungs also. I like those a lot. But yeah, pretty much all the turbo kits 100% done. Use the Motion cast style wastegate merges. I like these a lot when we can use them. We can't always use them, just depending on how stuff lays out. What I was in the car, just like they make them. They're made to hit a flat piece, and they make some that are made to go in the radius. And I try to keep both in stock, just because they are very helpful and pretty strong if you can use them. But otherwise, we'll just make our own if we have to. Only thing different up here we've had to do. So this thing's kind of, which I knew it, but I didn't think about it at the time. And then talking to Austin, it's a dry sump engine. So I was like, man, we don't got a dry sump tank. So he ordered that, and I'm waiting on that to get here so we can mount it and then build our fuel cell. But we're trying to make some more space for those things, so this car, probably can see it in some of the older videos, but it still had the factory upper radiator support, and it was the piece that was tied to here, like the factory sheet metal. It was cut out below it, but basically what the fender mounted to, and went all the way around. All that was factory, where the headlights are. And they mounted down to here. All that stuff was on there. So we cut all that off to try to make some clearance. We're gonna have to remount this, and we actually cut the tube off that came from here to here, and I'm waiting for that dry sump tank to get here. Place it first before we rebuild those, just to make sure everything fits in here the way we want to, because obviously it's tight. It's got a fiberglass front end with factory fenders that Zeus on, so you can get this off pretty easy. Like, we'll still have to make some Zeus's to hold the front and remount all that. But like I said, we're just waiting on parts to show up so we can do that. And then all the front will be done. And it's getting close to done. I'll show you the inside. Kind of been working on so we're doing carbon and sheet metal on the tunnel. They wanted to close it in. I was going to originally, my plan was to leave it open and just sheet metal the bottom, but they wanted to close it in, so they wanted to use as much carbon as we could. And because of the way the seat fits, these cars are pretty narrow. Fox body or Fox chassis cars. So this car is technically wider than our Fox body, but actually inside the rocker panels is the same width. It's just body wise they're wider. You can actually look at a Fox body in these. This is actually a wider piece, so it gets wider on the outside, not the inside. The inside space is pretty much the same width, which is pretty narrow. And just trying to make space for the double frame rail and all, we had to curve. I got this one kind of halfway fit in here. Those bars are, we just symmetrical them just to make them the same on this side as they were over there. So we had to curve the sheet metal, or the bars, hence having to curve or break the sheet metal so it forms around those bars, so it's not just flat panels. So we got to do that in carbon, but it'd be a bunch of separate panels, which I'd rather it be sheet metal and be welded in versus being a bunch of different individual panels on every one of these triangles. Over here is a little different. We're going to end up just closing this whole side in because we don't have to form that. There's nothing. You got to form to the seat over there. That's why we can't go straight down over there, over there, but we can over here. But yeah, so we're working on. He's finishing up, working on fitting the sides now with carbon. So we're going to do carbon on this side as much as possible. And then we got to mount the shifter, so we need to go ahead and get the shifter mounted. And once we get that done, we'll carbon the top. And then we're going to try to make a carbon panel for the tunnel top, but we're probably going to have to do it like I did in Devin's car. We're going to make it out of aluminum, something that's broke and welded. That way, that whole like upper doghouse box can come on and off pretty easy. It'll probably come to about right there. And then we'll probably do some carbon inlays or something just to make it look good, make it carbon for the guys, just to look real nice. So really, that's about it. And the inside of this thing will be wrapped up. So we're just waiting on a few parts to show up so we can wrap this deal up. But once we get all this carbon stuff fitted, we'll go pull it apart and paint all this. And then we got to put the fire system in still, which that's not a huge deal. We'll mount the bottle over here. They already had the CO2 mounted here. I don't know if they're going to keep it there or not, but I'll end up probably mounting the lifeline system over here. And it's a 4 nozzle system. I'll put 2 in the engine bay and then 2 kind of on this side of the firewall at the driver's seat, because the way I kind of view it is, I mean, if you have a fire with a fuel fire, it's going to be trying to come into the firewall. It's not coming from in here. So I try to put it, you're trying to protect from the feet back. You don't want to be here and blowing down and you got a fire at your feet, so, and you don't want to spray the extinguisher material in somebody's face anyway. So anyway, it's coming along. Try to get this thing wrapped up. We kind of got PRI and everything. There's a lot going on, so our time schedules have been messed up because we're still waiting on parts anyway. So as soon as we'll get this hopefully wrapped up in the next day or two, sheet metal wise and carbon wise, and then hopefully that tank will show up and we can get that wrapped up and we can take it off the jig. We just haven't done it yet because it's kind of easier to work on it here like this, so up and down. But we'll probably go ahead and, once we get this wrapped up, and probably go ahead and take it off and paint all this stuff, and then hopefully by then we can get it all wrapped up. I will check back in as we get a little bit more done. I'll show you guys where we're at on Lance's. I think you've already seen most of all of this. Just Sunday in here trying to straighten up, opening packages that showed up while we were gone, get boxes and orders put together. Picked up the laser stuff the other day, so I'm trying to get all that back in its spot. I mean, you can see it's a mess in here. There's crap everywhere waiting on motorcycle to get picked up. Just parts everywhere. But anyway, the orders came in while I was gone. Got to get those to where they're going. Looks like we got another floater kit showed up. But anyway, so we got, obviously I showed you all the turbo stuff's already done. Waiting on a couple little parts so we can wrap that up. But got the inside pretty much done. The tunnel, got all this carboned in. Made the let's see if I can step in a little closer. Made kind of did this one similar to Devin's because it's not a great way to close this off. We'll get this thing powder coated more than likely, or I'll let them deal with it and see what, I'm not sure. Kind of touch base with them. It'll look good black though to help blend in with that carbon. They wanted to do as much of the tunnel in carbon as possible. We couldn't do all of it because, just like I said, on the other side I had to wrap around the seat, so we did that sheet metal. Then this we didn't have to wrap around, so we just come straight down with the carbon on this side, carbon at the bottom. Excuse me. Got the shifter remounted, got all that worked out. But yeah, we kept the top. We did it just like Devin's, that way it form and cover everything, but it also looks good and functional, and it removes easy. I don't know how many we got on here. Can't quite see. It's not many. It might be only 2 Zeus's, maybe 4. I'll have to double check it. I think we only got 2 on it, which it's really just made to where we can get out and service all that stuff. If you're taking the transmission out, pop that thing off real quick. It's not very hard at all. This dash comes out pretty quick of this thing. It's got a Zeus on each side to zip the dash out, so hopefully that'll make it easier for them servicing the car if they need to swap transmission out or do anything there. But like I said, we're done with everything in here. All the double frame rail stuff's done. All the turbo kit stuff's done. Only thing we lack is getting the dry sump tank mounted and a fuel cell mounted up front. But I'm kind of waiting. I'm waiting on a dry sump tank to show up. Monday we'll probably go ahead and yank this thing off the jig. It doesn't need to be here anymore. We got to get it off this lift. I got tons of other stuff we got to get in here and get rolling. So we're gonna get it pulled off of here and get it out of the way until we get to the next step. What do you think, Max? You got it? Yep. So we're gonna get this thing snatched off the jig and back on all fours, and maybe try to lower it down, see what it looks like. Because we got in the back, we didn't put the shock. They got to get a longer shock for the back. It just had a 5-incher. So we have just a 1x1 tubing holding the car up right now. That's why see that magical floating tire. But we'll get the fronts back on, get it on all fours, see how she looks. Just the front. I think it's got stock spindles on it still. Looks like, so they'll probably end up swapping those out to get with some drop spindles. But we got a ton of room. We can drop it down, well, about 1.5 inches looks like a thread. So get a little bit of better idea of what it's going to look like. And then as soon as the rest of our parts show up, we'll get them mounted, cell built, and she can roll out the door. Thanks for watching. Till the next time. We've made it. Day 1. Getting ready to roll in the PRI soon and see what we can check out. A little early. Pretty cool stuff coming up. Got a blower on that thing backwards.
That's what Alan Johnson did.
Actually, the blower's on it right, but the headers are on it backwards. Got dang parachutes on a boat.
3 of them.
It's pretty wild. Titanium bell housing on it.
2 mags on it.
This right here would be super sketch. All right, come on, Dylan, buy us a trailer. Somebody want to donate us one? Big old turbo.
He just trying not to spin it out correctly. Yeah.
Oh, it's an old sprint car there. All that stagger in that back tire.
You'd be surprised at times.
Somebody like doing the pin area. It's like Joey's dad.
It should help with school. We're going to make this is the smallest one of the ones that we're looking at doing. So we're going to improve the theory with this, but then we've got like a big one that's even bigger than this that we're going to put 122. We've got even bigger turbo. So if this works, then we'll scale it. That way we'll have like a big turbo single. That's I'd say the biggest.
Another long day ahead of us, wandering around. This is David Pearson's Little Evil. I'm going to work on it here in the next few weeks, get some things done for him on it. You good? No, you good. You good.
Quality. To me, that's always
What a fabulous job he and his team have done, and I know you're privy to a lot of the stuff that goes on as well, but the SEMA staff as well, and everything they've been able to accomplish in Washington, that helps this industry more than anybody realizes.
Yeah, they're amazing. I mean, SEMA, I mean, they are the voice for all of us. You know, they give us a great platform to do what we all do, and we need people like that. And SEMA, PRI.